Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, Napoleon Complex here, and welcome back. So, last time we went off, we were making progress into Anjou and Aquitaine. We fought off the Italians from their repeated attempts to invade our lands, and we started getting ready for war in Egypt. Now, I apologise for this episode being a little bit late. I've recently started a new job as a carer, and as a result, I was somewhat tired on Monday and Sunday, which are my usual opportunities to record the episode. So we're doing this on Wednesday instead. Now, the major decision I have to make now is that I believe I am ready to invade Egypt, because I now have 4 units of these Almohad urban militia, and they will easily be able to smash their way through a line of Nubian spearmen, especially since we have a good commander as well. Now, the only reason I'm hesitating is that we also have our urban militia, and they do not do well against Nubian spearmen. However, we also have the advantage in cavalry numbers and overall in the number of units we can field, because those peasants really won't count for much. So I think I am going... We also have a full army now, and that situation is only going to improve for Egypt because reinforcements aren't as effective. I am going to launch an invasion of Egypt now, but if they happen to get another unit, I may pull back. Rest of my reinforcements are here. I've done some tidying up. In Anjou, we're going to reduce the castle here. Let's go. So first of all, we're attacking Angers Castle. I have no idea how to pronounce that in French. I'm afraid I will have to assault this. I want to minimize casualties. Lovely art. You can really tell someone spent some time on the loading screen. Fine throughout the day, that suits me. Usual procedure. Keep our archers out of the struggle. Infantry go in and get the killing done. I don't want to lead with my general here because there is possibility of a freak chance that my general will get crushed by the falling walls. I have seen it happen once before. I don't want to have that happen again. Well, I don't think my general was actually killed, but I saw units who knocked down the walls getting killed by the walls, so I'm just going to let the other unit handle this, even though it's smaller and may take a little bit more time. So we know the drill by now. Stockade is going down. And now we just kill all the poor Englishmen inside. Or Anglo-French in this case. Kill them! Kill them all! Kill the peasants! Especially the peasants. I wonder how my militia feel about that. These are town militia. They probably look down on those farming scum. He lasted a long time. I was about to speed up the battle. And Anjou is no more. Right, let's look at this. So yes, there are only 8 units of Nubian spearmen, and that is what we want to see. The enemy are outnumbered. They are also Some of these units really aren't looking very strong. There are units, well, specifically there's units I have which won't be nearly as effective. Thankfully they have a little bit of valor on them, some of them. And I've got a few archers, they won't be decisive at all. I have to look out for the enemy camels because they will not, my Saharan cavalry will not do well against them. We'll save just to make sure that we always back up in case there's a crash. Let's go. Calm weather expected. We'll see if that lasts. Been lied to like that before. Really? Really, Debs? I guess they were just that thirsty, which frankly, as we're in a desert, I can't blame them. I should probably have used the formation button to organise this a little bit better. Let's form up. Right, my plan before I even went into this was to... Why is it organising like that? I'm going to try a weighted flank approach, so I'm going to place most of my best units on the left, including most of the cavalry. And my other troops are going to hang back in a staggered line. So this was the formation, of course, that Alexander used at the Battle of Gaugamela. Gaugamela, am I pronouncing that correctly? I know it's not Gaugamela. Gaugamela. Better do something with our archers as well. Well, since this is supposed to be the stronger flank, it makes sense that there's archers on it. What are the enemy bringing to bear? So the enemy have their smaller units. So yes, the enemy have put their weakest units on the left. That's good for us because it means that our strong units can break them quickly. And it looks like the enemy are keeping their cavalry behind their line, which is also okay for us. Because if they get thrown forward, the enemy cavalry might get trapped on the infantry line. And that will mean that our own cavalry can flank them and destroy them. Did I not give them orders? Okay, probably a good idea to keep our general in reserve. Let people move into position a bit more. Okay. So bring my infantry line to the right. Start to move the militia. I'm going to have to keep them in a line. The micromanagement here is going to be a nightmare. Another problem I've got is we're fighting in the sun, which means my Almohad armed militia are going to get tired quickly. There's just the enemy line shifting around. Problem is that causes them to kind of refuse this flank. Is this still going to work? No, don't run. Never run in a desert. Not unless you absolutely have to. A little bit concerned that they might fall upon us before we're ready. Going to have my cavalry stop for a moment, let the rest of my army catch up. Peasants might be coming out to greet us, but I'm not scared of them. We're in range of fire now. Okay, the enemy army is definitely responding now. We're already tired. Right, launch the attack. This is going well. This is pretty much exactly how I imagined things going. I honestly didn't think I could pull off a weighted flank in Medieval 1, but so far it's happening. Get the cavalry in there. Okay, and this is dragging more of their forces into the fight, so that's good. That means that we're leading with this. Those armed militia need to move into the fight, into range of the fight. Oh dear, that's 2 units of armed militia committed there. I'm not sure I wanted that to happen. We've routed someone. This is getting quite chaotic now. Get another unit of Saharan cavalry around the flanks. No, not that unit. How did I manage to select that unit? Must have been the one person in that position who wasn't part of the unit I was trying to select. Where are you going? It's out into the middle of the desert. Okay, don't like this quite so much. We need to get into the back of these units and break them before that next unit can get to us. I'm going to pull them back now, move them into reserve. That is a unit of Saharan cavalry coming to... Right, I'll counter with my own unit of Saharan cavalry and I'll send the Berbers in to help. Oh, move! Move, move, move! We have no time for messing around with the enemy infantry line. Right, this is now a race to get troops into the fight. Out microed. So obviously it's on very hard, so my units on their own tend to get their heinies handed to them. They've been broken. Hit them in the flank, but it's too late. Oh, come on! We've hit these encircled troops with everything. I need them to turn, I need them to turn. Ugh, the cavalry let us down. This is now looking like a disaster. Oh no, wait, they're breaking. I need those fresh horsemen. I need those fresh horsemen. The enemy Saharan cavalry broke. There's someone who's not doing anything. Yes! Enemy general dead. Whew. That was close. That was ridiculously close. We should win now, but... I honestly thought that was going to be our first major defeat. I don't like that. Why did you suddenly charge there? You're supposed to be going after the camels. Should not be getting tangled up with enemy spears. Right, start to bring units over. We need to deal with this force here. Fortunately, casualties were quite high amongst the urban militia. Can you guys maybe turn before you hit on the flanks? I think they're trying to withdraw. I did not handle that very well. Hoping they'll crack because of the fact the general's dead and lots of their army are just running away in general. That and the enemy's formation is kind of falling apart now. But I get the feeling we may be losing more of our own troops. Yes, okay, they're breaking, good. What does it feel like to be sure and confident about your actions in life? Great. Great, that's the end of them. That was well worth it, because one of the reasons I was anxious to expand into Egypt is that our army is starting to become quite a burden on our finances. And it's excellent that we've managed to take Egypt, because that is a very wealthy province. Of course, it means we've got a longer coastline to defend now, but it also means that with the Egyptian army hopefully mostly broken at this stage, the pressure's off and we've got more resources that we can devote to our interior as well. We've paid quite a heavy price for it, but I'm happy overall. Victory, and what a victory! Almost 3-1 casualties for the enemy in a reasonably evenly matched fight. Do I want the money? No, no, I am going to be the quote-unquote honourable leader and spare them their lives. So it's an extra 1,000. That means I can raise a lot of new units. And they were only selling them back about 3 units worth of troops anyway. Oh, that's excellent news. Egypt is ours. And right, we haven't been invaded by the Italians. Anjou is in our possession, even though it's not fully under control yet. Do I have anyone I can put in charge of Anjou? I apologise to any French people watching this who heard me trying to pronounce Angers. He'll do nicely. I especially apologise to anyone who's actually from Angers. Right, and we got plenty of money after that. I held back a little bit from spending money last time. Most important thing we started building was the dockyard. And Tunisia, we don't have great income, but we will have better income. I feel safe enough to invest in a mosque to make the troops coming out of Tunisia better. We're training our last unit, Saharan cavalry. From this point on, we're training Almohad, our militia, here. Well, no, let's see. I think we should train it like this. So 2 Arbor and militia, and then 1 unit of cavalry. Take a look. So this time it's going to be 30. This is going to be 1350 coming out of our treasury. That means I'll have 1,435 to spend. So sorry, basically 4,400. 4,200. Oh, we can train. Right, I need to start building dhows now. We can finally train a navy. 100, so 3,000, and that will come up every 3 years. 3,600. That this takes priority over just about everything. Let's see. morale on archers isn't that important. Go for the bower's workshop. That could potentially give us horse archers in the future. I'll take that. It might improve our archers, desert archers as well. What can I train Grenada? I've got access to these troops in Grenada, so let's keep counting. So that's 3,200. 2,900. $1,500. That money goes quickly, doesn't it? I am nowhere near being able to afford legendary farmland. But just enough that I can expend some money on Cordoba. And I think I'm going to get... Now the Mowahead foot soldiers would normally be a good investment, but with Almohad armed militia, they're hardly worth the time. So I will go for the improved farmland. No, I won't, because we need a fort in Anjou. And we'll also need one in Aquitaine. I really should have built one first. And we'll save our money beyond that. Public order is increasing, and I really don't need a garrison of this size in Portugal. So I will start to move soldiers out, but I do need to be careful because the Italians are stalking the coastline. Let's see, we've got our king here. But I'm not sending him further north. He's helping to keep public order, and he's not much of a general anyway. So I can move this unit up north here. This unit can move north to Aquitaine for now. And that allows me to move some more troops north into Anjou, and that restores public order to Anjou. If we've got troops available here, I will start. I'll start to move these troops north. Oh, we lost the commander, the Emir of Morocco in that. I'll need to find him a replacement quickly. Public order. Oh, Cyrenica. Because of course I moved a ton of troops out. I was possibly lucky I didn't get a revolt there. That would have been bad. Right, we'll finish off the Egyptians in that castle, and for the moment in Anjou, I will unfortunately need to remain in the defensive. Public unrest is just too high. Should be easy. Calm weather expected. Right. Problem is my urban militia really are not going to be much use for this because they're not well armoured. They'll take excessive casualties from the walls. What do my Saharan cavalry turn into? Murder bits and infantry? Well, they have large shields, they might be able to support. I think I'll have to go through both layers of the castle this time. Don't think we have the manpower in terms of what's appropriate to a castle assault to go through multiple layers, well, of the settlement at one time. We don't. In other words, I can't invade the motte and the bailey at the same time. So the idea is that the urban militia will knock down the gate, and then the I never select the units I want, do I? Javelin men can throw their javelins. And that's worth holding the assault off for because javelins are very effective. Better put them into not fire at will. Oh, they're already in engage at will, so that helps. Skirmish mode would cause us problems. The enemy do so in siege battles like this. Large units, so units with 200 or 100 in their stack, get split into 50 unit pieces.
Onward to victory.
Let's see. Get the javelin inside. Got the trot. Want this unit to start breaking down the walls. So the Murabetans, I was kind of hoping that the enemy would have stand obligingly at the breach and let us pepper them with javelins, but that hasn't happened. They're being intelligent in using the terrain and other dirty tricks. Not that it's helping them, my units are still much better, but it's more dangerous this time because we're not just fighting peasants. And my Berber camels should not be standing there. You lot just get the walls down then. I could knock down the gate, but going for the walls is probably more effective in this situation. Attacking who? This is what happens when you let the defenders drink alcohol and do drugs. Okay, we're inside. Go throw some javelins at people. Or not. Not is also fine. Haha, you can't cheat. It's off both of us, can you? Oh well, you're about to get murdered by militia now anyway. Can you just get into melee? I'm trying to stop my skirmishers from friendly fire. Keep my skirmishers from friendly fire even. We'll just accelerate this. Right, that was reasonably effective. Let's just finish this. So unfortunately this will probably destroy the fort in Egypt as well as most of the useful buildings. But what are you going to do? I have to take the province at some point, and right now I really need the wealth from it more than I need the units. At least it should have high level farms, because the AI usually spends quite a lot of money on its farmland. Those spearmen shouldn't last much longer. I almost went a bit too quickly there. There's only one guy left and they're still trying to throw javelins. What do you think their chance of hitting the one person who's Egyptian? And there it is. Okay. Yep. Egypt has fallen to your troops. Tons of stuff destroyed, tons of stuff damaged. Loads of Florence pillaged. And the King of the English got killed somehow. Adultery, charming, secret blackmailer, clever rewards, friendly. Great bunch. Right, we did lose enough in that, so that we now have a risk of revolt in Egypt. So, first of all, get someone in charge. Need to be careful here. Thankfully, well, no, I don't really need to be too careful in Cyrenaica. I need to make sure that a rebellion doesn't happen. I'm worried eventually that the Sicilians who are on, well, Sicily and Malta, and Naples as well, they will eventually develop boats and will also threaten my coastline. But for now, or the Egyptians could send boats that way. But right now, that hasn't happened, so we're happy. Oh, come on, Anjou, convert a little bit faster, please. I could attack Normandy, but I'd never hold it. The unrest would just be too high. This is obviously part of the challenge of the campaign as the Almohads, or for that matter any, well, mainly the Almohads, and just to explain why. We are obviously not a Christian faction, which means, and unlike the other Muslim factions, well, this really applies to Turkey as well. Unlike Egypt, we have to go straight into Europe pretty much for our expansion, unless we want to take on the Egyptians. Which means that every step that we take, we are going to be dogged with public order problems. I wonder if I have the resources to take Normandy and it not turning immediately into a fireball. No, I'm going to stave off, and this is partially to demonstrate one of the skills you have to be good at in Medieval 1, and that's knowing when you're overextending yourself. If I take troops into the north just now, if I tried to push, that's the loudest train I've ever heard, then I will end up having public order problems. So for now, let's just spend our money, which we have a lot of. I will first off build watchtowers in Egypt, because we want to get the public order situation under control there as soon as possible. How much am I? So it'll be 950 this turn that I've already spent on my military. So that's 1050. I have basically 5,200 to 4,200 to spend. In Cordoba, I will finally get that improved farmland. Trying to think if I'm spending enough on my military. So that's 2,700. Navarre. Sorry, I'll try and get this done reasonably quickly. There's no point in getting that. I'll start building up my army in Navarre. That's 2,700, 2,500. Portugal. I suppose training a few more urban militia won't be too bad. So that's 2,300. It's really not. Nah, it's a little bit of extra money. 2,350, 2,550. Plus knowledge that I'm literally sending people to work in salt mines. And we'll go for the legendary farmlands in Castile. Or maybe not. Still don't think that's going to be enough to train the Murabetans. No, wait, this isn't the wait, an ore training war. Okay, let me 400, 800, 1100. Goodness, 1000 this Florence. That would have detected 200. If we don't train the Urban Militia, we should be okay. But I lost track of where we were on the map there. Oh, you should go. Alright, I won't build the farmland. And beyond that, it's just waiting for more troops to train up. And making sure that we don't get a revolt. Public order is better in Egypt, but still nowhere near good enough for our army to move on. Lots of camels. I can move my cavalry up at least, because I've got more troops training in Cyrenaica. Cyrenaica should continue. Right, let's get into some kind of routine again. So first of all, move troops up. I really don't think that we need this many troops hanging around Cordoba. Okay, maybe leave a few troops back in reserve. But I think the situation is improving. Hopefully most troops are starting to leave Cordoba now. Not that many. These troops can continue their journey through Leon. These troops can continue through Navarra. I suppose troops that should move into Aquitaine, and hopefully that will finally give us the resources to strike at Normandy. Maybe they don't strike that hard at Normandy. Little bit worried about an attack from Toulouse, so I'm going to move my general and some archers up, just to reinforce the area temporarily. You guys should probably move north. And this is kind of the site. So now that we've got the troop movements done and Normandy sorted out, and for troop placements, the next thing I need to sort out is my finances. So this should be a 500, oops, 900. I know I trained troops somewhere else this turn. 1200. 1650. Okay, 1650. So we've got approximately 4,000, 3,400. So we've got 3,300 to spend basically. 3,350 to be exact. Rounding to the nearest 50 rather. Swordsmith alone enables Arab infantry. Arab infantry aren't that great. I'll build a rebat, that means extra morale. So 3,050 left. You know what? I'm getting my farmland. The Italians better not interfere. Do a quick sweep of the empire for tax purposes. Always popular, I know. Superb. Next turn. And this should piece us out with the English unless they built boats. This is such a small battle. And we're unlikely to wipe them all out anyway. I'll have to resolve it. Apparently the parts of Egypt that are not occupied by a foreign power are really happy. So once Normandy Castle falls, that will be us back at peace with the English, which should make our lives much easier. So Tunisia and Cyrenaica are now our troop production centres for the Eastern Front, and we now have... Can I move out yet? Not even close. I am dreaming. About the town watch to further help with public order. No, I'm not going to be able to advance there out of there yet. Right, keep training. Tunisia is now under threat. Not quite. But they've now got a ship in our... Oh no, it's the Barbary coast, right? At least our navy's sheltered. And they'll have a ship in the Western Mediterranean. Which means they can attack Algeria as well. And an attack in Algeria would really suck because that would harass our shipping. I need to tread carefully here. I've taken the important part of Egypt. I'm going to pull soldiers back for now. In Egypt we do have some recruitment available. I think this can be... Well, we know Nubian spearmen aren't up to much. But they're probably... I'll recruit some Bedouin camel warriors. Here. That means our recruitment this turn is going to be quite expensive. 250, 650, 1050, 1650. That's all next turn. And that's it for now. So 1650. Oh, not exactly breaking the bank at this stage. So that gives us about 2,900 to spend. Okay, that's about all she wrote. Ooh, why is the French king stuck in Brittany? That could be a quick way to behead their leadership. Because I don't see any ships around. France is quite well developed and might be quite a dangerous opponent. And thankfully, I have a bucket load of troops coming up from the south now. Fresh reinforcements. But what I'm really worried about right now is a strike into North Africa. How much strength do we actually have around here? There's a lot of cavalry. We'll have some archers next turn. I think I'll move the cavalry into Cordoba for now, but I suppose I do have some heavy infantry available further afield. I'm thinking about they attack Algeria. Alright, alright. That's us at peace with the English. Oh, we ran out of money. Somewhere. That possibly means some of our troops stopped training. No, the farmland just didn't get started in Valencia. It's okay, because I'd rather have, at this point, I'd still rather have troops than buildings. Generally. Put someone fairly intimidating in charge at North. Actually, do we have a really good general who doesn't have an appointment? You are now a 4-star general. Congratulations. And public order sinks through the floor. But we do have a really good general now in the region. France is about to explode, but we have a really good general. However, it may not matter what things are like in France, because in Spain we've raised loads of forces now. And let's take a look at what's in Toulouse. They have a very powerful castle. But honestly, their army isn't up to much. I'm going to invade them. And I'll let my prince lead the operation. Of course, even more nasty stuff is coming up from the south. We have quite a few royalty. We have quite a few royal personages. And we already have quite a few good commanders in France. I'd like to send them south and then east so they can eventually help in Egypt. Yeah, I'd like to have someone in the east who knows their way around command. I'm still building up my garrisons in North Africa. They've got troops threatening Cyrenaica. Good news is ships are being built in Algeria. Okay, let's see. So this is usually 1300 turn. I think it's more expensive than that this time. Yeah, it's now 1600 because of the Murabitans. And that's assuming that's all in training. No, it's 1650 for this turn. And I think it's about that next turn as well. So we have 1,000, let's see, 5,000, 4,700, 4,600. I'm spending this turn. Oh wow, okay. Okay folks, I think I'm actually going to leave it here for now. Thank you for watching. I have been Napoleon Complex. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Farewell.